About our group project, we have two successful countries for an example. The first one is Japan, the second one is Singapore. Now we look at this picture. It mainly shows some labor information in Singapore, comparing previous data of employed person and recent data of employed person. Then it means that the number of people in employment increased to about 46.3 thousand people, and the number of unemployed persons was decreased by about 6.7 thousand people. Then the labor force participation rate, productivity, and labor cost have no change in recent. Now we look at the second picture, which shows some information about the data of per capita GDP from 1960 to 2020. And people can see that it shows a slow upward trend from 1960 to 1995. Then there was a rapid fluctuation from 1995 to 2020. Now look at this picture. That is demonstrate that the Pasir Panjang port is the largest one in Singapore. There are 41 berths, and then the Sembawang port is the smallest one on this export. It also has 7 berths. Now we analyze the diversification of Singapore economic. We analyze the employment rate and per capita GDP before. And the per capita GDP was basically in an upward trend from 1960 to 2020, indicating that the overall economic environment of Singapore is relatively stable, and a stable economic environment is conducive to development of the country economic. Now we can divide it into 3 parts to discussion why Singapore is so successful. The first one is port development. The port of Singapore is connected to more than 600 ports in the world by more than 200 routes, and it has 7 free trade zones within the port area. According to the Singapore International Enterprise Development Council, from January to November in 2018, the export total is $380.8 billion. It grew about 11.9% by last year. Also, imports were $339.62 billion. It increased about 14% by last year, and the trade surplus was $41.18 billion. That is a decline of about 2.5% by last year. And because of the Singapore government support that the geographical location, efficient operation efficiency, and the good shipping service, Singapore port become an important hub port in the world now. And the second one is environmental protection industry that is mainly engaged in wastewater recycling, developing of clean energy, and so on. The newly opened Chengxi Xingxi water plant is one of the largest and most innovative sewage treatment projects in the world. It can meet the needs of Singapore urban wastewater recovery, treatment, and reuse in the next 100 years. And then, Singapore already set up 5 action goals in the clean energy blueprint.